While you're doing that, say hi to Terry and Tim, everybody. Terry and Tim are not twins. I know it's hard to tell them apart. It's Terry and then Tim. This week at the men's ministry thing, the weekly Thursday thing, we call it Thank God It's Thursday. Or is there some other reason for that? Pick up the microphone.
I don't know.
Okay, good. It's Thank God It's Thursday.
Yeah.
Anyway, tell us, either one of you, just a little bit more about the Thursday gathering, the men's gathering. It's been going on like 5+ years now. I said.
6 years. We are into our 7th year.
6 is 5+. Terry, don't correct me like that. Anyway, just kidding. So tell us kind of the agenda, what typically takes place, and some of the focus, the vision.
Okay. Well, when we start to show up 6:15, and usually by 6:45, we are into either a speaker, or sometimes we do video series. And then that usually wraps up somewhere about 7:15, 7:30. Some people have to leave around then. Usually by 8 o'clock, it's over. But the thing that I love most about it is that you really never know on a Thursday morning what you're going to get.
That's true.
So we have just a variety of speakers. And like, for example, this past Thursday, so we had a guy who is a neighbor of Bill Ironman come and speak. And you could just tell he just got back from a missions trip in early November from, where'd he go, Honduras? And he just could not contain himself. So he needed an outlet to just be able to express what he experienced spiritually there in Honduras, and the mission work that was going on there, and the need, and he needed a platform. And so we got to hear from him and his heart and what God was doing in Honduras. And this is a guy that doesn't go to our church, doesn't go to Webster Gardens. I don't know if he's ever even been to the Thursday mornings, but he knows Bill Ironman. And so he knew there was a Thursday morning, and he just had to share. And so we got to hear that. So that's some of that, what we get to do.
Terry, some of the focus on Thursday is for men to actually connect with each other. Why is that so important?
Well, the first thing I had heard, 6.5 years ago, very first statistic I got is 95% of the men do not have a close friend to really share all the stuff with that they're going through in their life. And that really hit me, because I thought we all got a lot of friends that we share ball scores with and things going on, but we don't have anybody that really knows all of our life. And so that was one of the chief goals we have. And this ministry has really changed my life through the videos, through the sharing, through people sharing their testimonies of the real life things they've gone through. It's really been awesome. So I'm hoping that the men really, really connect. Even similar to the ladies have a trio where you get to know 3 people that Pam shared with me. And I think we've got the same thing, not so organized, but where people really care about each other and get to know each other at a much more intimate level.
Terry, you told me one time that about the fatherlessness of our nation. Just talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, thank you. That is huge. One of the early statistics I got is if you really want to see something that's shocking, I know a lot of men feel like mom did most of the raising, the Christian raising of the children. But if you go on and look at fatherless statistics on the internet, I mean, they're shocking. 70 and 80% are 4 times the pregnancy rate, the alcohol, the drugs, all the addictions, 4, 5, 6, 10 times for families that are fatherless. I think part of the enemy's task is to make men feel that they're not important, they're not significant in the family, and there could be nothing that's further from the truth. Another thing we do, I just saw Butch back there. He's doing a series on sonship that's talking back from I guess you'd say, the culture of the Middle East, the Jews, what it's like to be a son, an adopted son. And that's really been deep and worthwhile for us.
So there's sometimes teaching, sometimes somebody giving a testimony, and sometimes just, a video series or whatever. And then you guys break and really prioritize time with the men, connecting with the men. Why is that important, either one of you? Or what goes on then?
Yeah, well, that's the opportunity for us to really then connect with the other men in the men's ministry and really get to know the needs of one another and be able to then encourage and also be encouraged. And so it's that two-way street where you can kind of break down and have a more intimate conversation with those around. And it varies from week to week. And so you get to really know the men of the men's ministry. And yeah, anything you want to add to that?
Yeah. One of the goals of this church is to be intergenerational, you know, where the younger men get to fellowship with the older men and the younger women get to fellowship with the older women. That's a goal that we haven't done that well with. But if young men are looking for a mentor, someone to speak into their life, this would be an outstanding time. If you can come on Thursday, that's so early so you can get to work on time. If you have to leave at 7:15, go ahead. But you can find some guys, the older guys would love to be able to mentor, to get in your life, just do life with you. Go out to lunch or breakfast sometime together on a Saturday and do life together. I think that's a worthy goal, and I wish we had more of that. Particularly, we've got a retreat coming up in March where we've got a pastor from South Carolina coming. It's God's choice. I was praying about 3 different guys, and God said, this is your speaker this year. And he's got a powerful testimony, and he's wrote a couple books on, it's called Rekindled, From Failure to Purpose and Destiny. And I think that's one of the things that's really on my heart, that all the men that come really achieve God's purpose in their life and their destiny. And if we're stuck, and sometimes we get stuck in Christianity, there's just no growth. If you're dealing with the same problem, personal problems like sin issues year after year, then you're stuck. And that's not God's best. So there's another goal that we have.
Meets every Thursday morning. Tim told us you can get there between 6:15 and whenever. It ends around 8 or prior to that. And it's in front of Webster Gardens Lutheran Church, which is on Watson Road down the street, almost to Webster Groves there. And it's in the old Hardee's building in front of their church. We put, I don't know how that came about particularly, Terry, but the 2 men's groups kind of merged together.
That was a God story. Scott Krenning used to be general manager, and O'Leary's was sold, so we had to vacate that. I'll never forget this. I was having lunch with Harry Schrader, and knowing we were going to have to leave O'Leary's and wondering if the future would continue. And I got a call while Harry's telling me, and Harry was actually telling me that day. He says, Terry, when God closes one door, he'll often open another door, so be open. What's on your heart? And I got a call from the 2 leaders of Webster Gardens Men's Ministry. And they said, Terry, we need some help getting started, and you need a place. What do you think about combining? And I thought, man, God, your timing was unbelievable. And so I'm wondering, what's he doing? You know, there's probably 6 or 8 different churches come to the men's ministry, just 1 or 2 guys. But we're looking for more and more of what God can do. It's not just simple fellowship, but we're looking for all that God has for his sons. So
anybody can come.
So anybody can come.
Men.
Men, yeah. We
men.
even have women speakers sometimes, and that's always been well received.
Excellent. Thanks. That's Terry. That's Tim.